I'm editing this review for the laptop that I just got, which is the Acer Predator Helios 300, and it's the 2020 edition, and there's some nuances that I want to highlight, which I think would be the most pertinent. I mean, there's plenty of reviews out there for this laptop, but once you get it, and this can actually apply probably beyond just the Acer Predator Helios laptop, I would say this is probably in any laptop, at least with an Intel chip and a discrete graphics processor. So when I first got this laptop, I would turn on, now let's open up the task manager and let's take a look at some of our performance. So we see that the CPU is at around 20%. I mean, all we're really doing right now is we're running this Predator Sense app, which we'll have a little background on, and we're recording this live, and I have 3 monitors open. So this is, using this laptop in a desktop situation, plugging it into a 4K monitor and using it to run various apps. So there's a couple of nuances. When I first got this laptop, I noticed that for a lot of tasks, the integrated graphics card was at half to maximum %, and the discrete graphics card was rarely being used. And I discovered that there's certain things. Well, the first thing was getting the right driver. So when you first load it up, you have to go and get the GeForce driver, and then it gets you the the GeForce experience. So you have to just go online and get the Nvidia driver. So if your integrated graphics isn't working, then you want to make sure you download this software. And I mean, you could just go to Google, get latest Nvidia drivers, and you go to download drivers, and you could do it this way, or you could do the GeForce experience way. Download GeForce experience, and with the GeForce experience, it'll then automatically check for the driver. So that's a user-friendly way to do it. Have it figure out what the latest driver is. And I mean, if that driver then ends up giving you problems, then you may want to go a little bit deeper and get another driver, but that's for another video. But that's what you would want to look for, is make sure you have the latest driver. So we're on the latest. And then Nvidia has this interesting thing where you can choose whether to use a studio driver or a game ready driver. For video editing, obviously the studio driver would theoretically be optimized, and the game ready driver would be ready for games. So to switch this, although it does come in a simple switch, you would have to, so if I click game ready driver, it doesn't just switch over. I mean, it does, but for it to actually be activated, I need to download it and install it. So we won't do that now because that's going to disrupt the whole format. So I haven't noticed any direct differences in performance on either side, video editing or gaming. So I don't know what to tell you as far as that. I mean, it runs about the same speed, and it runs pretty good. It runs pretty smooth. So, but some things that did have a direct performance on the how fast it moves was opening up this thing, and you could just do, I'm doing Windows S to open that, graphic settings, and then this window pops up, open up in another monitor, and it'll open up this screen right here. And on this screen you can select either a classic app or a universal app. So a classic app is, I mean, classic, it's any app that you're used to downloading, and normally, until recently there wouldn't be any other choice. It would just be classic apps. But in the world of Windows Store being a thing, universal apps, which is the other option you have, are apps downloaded from the Windows Store, and that's their naming convention. They call it universal apps. But most apps are going to be classic apps, unless if you've downloaded everything from the Windows Store, which I don't think is a high percentage of the people. So most likely you have a classic app, and then you want to select the app that you want to use. Now, I haven't tested each one to see, but I think the first measurable difference was in like Google Chrome and Blender and any of these apps. So if it's going slow and you open up your task manager and you see that it's your integrated graphics is taking most of the load and your discrete GPU isn't doing much. Now, what's interesting here is that this monitor that I'm recording from the laptop. I have two monitors connected, one connected through USB 3 and then one connected through the HDMI. So this monitor that I'm recording is what's being outputted to the HDMI, which is a 4K TV. And by default, I believe the HDMI is right into the GPU. So the GPU is running at about 20, about a third, just to project and I guess record. I don't know if it's also doing, it should be doing the recording, because in OBS I'm using their, let's show up, there we go. I'm using their file format, right? NVNC. So that's it should be using the hardware right now to record this video, which would be the GPU. So the GPU is, I believe, doing the displaying out to the monitor. Let's see, video encode. So you can see the video encode right here. So it's using up a third of the GPU to do that. I believe it's the 1080, even though the screen's in 4K. I think OBS is just going to 1080. So that's tip number one, is to open up the graphic settings and to then select the app. So if we go and we want to select an app, I was doing this TimeBolt app, which is a cool app to check out. It takes your video and it removes, this video isn't sponsored or anything by them. I just found it because I was looking for an app that would delete all the silences in a video, and TimeBolt came up. And I don't know if you've used TimeBolt. I've used TimeBolt. It's actually pretty cool. I just used the free version. So it does do it, and then I think it does everything. I'm sorry, the tangent, but it is a good app. So continue for free. You can try it out. And then, so if you select an audio, and I believe any of these, where's like some of the latest, file format not supported. So you need to do an MP4. So it takes your file and it strips the audio, and then what it'll do is it'll find the silences and it'll export a video without it. Now if you pay for it, then you can have it export the actual cuts. So I think this is a video where I'm just yammering on in the kitchen, and you see you can adjust which audio track that you can do. So this is pretty freaking cool. And then everything in red is what's going to be cut. So you can select, I don't know what these do. Select track. It all looks right. Chunk 1. Preview chunk. Okay, so it's just that's a preview just for part of it, but that's really what you need to see. Remove silences, but here's the settings that you can change. Remove silences on, and it sets these automatically. These aren't just default every time. Depending on your clip, this number will change. I think everything else stays default, and then you can change it depending on how much of the silence you want to take out. But this looks pretty good. This looks like everywhere that would be silent and nothing's going on. So if I actually export this, I don't know if I've exported this already, but if I export this, apply transitions. What? Crossfade. So you can apply transitions, or you can fast forward the silences, or you can just have it cut. We're just gonna have it cut. We're gonna do the down and dirty. Almost lossless. Rendering speed very fast. So you could export, and I believe if you open up Premiere, let's see, let's put this laptop to the test. So if you're wondering how the Acer Predator Helios performs in actual use, here's a use case. So we're recording the screen. And we're loading up Premiere. This is the review I have. I yammered on for a long time. It's being cut together, but I thought I would drop a helpful tutorial video. So what am I doing here in Premiere? I'm exporting. Oh, okay. So if I were to export EDL, see, that's a premium feature. Would I be able to then come back in here, file, XML? Okay. So EDLs, right? So you'd be able to import the XML EDL file, and then you'd get the best of both worlds, which is the sequence already cut, where then you can change it, but it saves you all the time. So that's how you could do it. So you could export it out to Final Cut Pro XML, which Premiere will read, and I'm sure most editing programs will read, or just straight XML or EDL. So it gives you, and you can export just the cuts directly. How do you import cuts into Premiere? But I can't do that one either, right? I can't export. Oh, I can export cuts. So if I export the cuts, let's make a folder called cuts. Select folder, splitting up. So what is that doing? Is that creating little video files? What is that doing? What on earth is that doing? Oh, it's making little cuts. Wow. So are those the things? Okay. With sound, right? That's funny that it has to change resolution. So technically what you can do is now in Premiere, I mean, it's going to be watermarked, which is more than fair until you pay them. I think they're like an independent, it's like a dude out of somewhere that made it. So if you need something like that, and I imagine a lot of people on YouTube do, I may just start doing videos like this, using it. This video I may even just time cut, and this will be me talking about time cut. So if you could use this time saving super tool, then go and buy time cut. I'll see if there may be an affiliate link. If there's a link that's not like their direct website or something, then I probably got an affiliate link which would support the channel, so I could buy my own copy of it. But until then, I'll just use it and have it watermarked, you know, fuck it. Cuts. So if I import that whole folder, right? Import folder, which you can do, as you can do in Premiere. So it imports the files. What is this thing doing? What is it loading right now? I'm confused. Why is it loading all these files now? Is it because I was in the Finder? Oh, we may need to crank this up to turbo. So the Acer Predator Helios 300 has this turbo feature, which I'm sure you can probably hear in the microphone right now. I would be very surprised if it couldn't be heard right now. Either way, alright, so it imported that whole thing. Where did it put that bin? That's not nice. Cuts. Where did you put my cuts? My cuts. My cuts. My cuts. My cuts. Where are my cuts? Cuts. Don't put cuts in there. Cuts goes on the top level. On the top level. Come on, cuts. Get out of there, cuts. Dun dun dun. Oh, there's nothing in cuts, but there is something in cuts. So if we right click it, new bin, new search bin. No, not new bin. We'll just cut inside. We'll select all and new sequence from clip. So now if we play this shit, it's just sounds, right?
Hello, welcome. What's it gonna do?
Oh, so getting the cuts is getting the cuts. We do have the cuts, but getting the EDL XML then is non-destructive. So the two ways that you get it right now are destructive. So what they're charging for you are for non-destructive editing solutions. So here, if I want to extend any of the cuts, I can't.
Clicking no. So we're using the whole studio setup here. We have this record.
All right, that's cool.
Recording.
All right, so TimeBolt. So TimeBolt, now that it's using that, so is it using the GPU? Is TimeBolt still an error occurred? So did it stop rendering? Export cuts. Please wait for current task to finish. Task queue. An error occurred. I don't know. Do I have a really long file? Can I put TimeBolt really to the test? TimeBolt, continue for free. Where's a long ass file of me just yammering? Yammering. 43 minutes. That's a lot of yammering. That's a lot of yammering. I hope the sound is good in this. The sound was messed up in that clip. Fucking cables. Fucked up cables. Come on. Alright, so this is long as hell, right? Boom. Okay. Now, export cuts. So I go back into cuts. Splitting. And is it using the GPU? OBS TimeBolt is using, no, it's using GPU 1 3D. OBS is using most of it. GPU 1, oh, okay, that is GPU 1. So all of them are using the discrete, which is good. And then the Windows Drivers Foundation. But everything else is using, so there's a couple way to check it. You can also, I think this utility came once I got the driver. It shows you all the apps that are running off the GPU. So that's cool. And the other tip, so that's working great, is so there's the turbo, there's setting your graphic settings to your discrete GPU. If you think you can get higher graphical performance out of an app, it may be using your integrated and just leaving your dedicated, discrete, whatever you call it, unused. And then the last thing is if you're using external monitors, so let's close out of that. If you do Windows S and you just type in DISPL display and you scroll down and click advanced display settings. Now I learned about this getting this laptop. this whole hertz thing. I mean, not what hertz is, but as far as it comes to monitors, and it had always been, you know, frames per second, but then the frames per second of the footage and the hertz, I guess, have diverged in recent years, because especially in the PC gaming, like for film and video, and for most, I think video games for a long amount of time, at least on consoles and like arcade machines, and until PC gaming became like a real thing, I imagine that the frames per second and the hertz of the monitor were locked or tied to each other. So if it was 30 hertz, it was 30 frames per second, 60 hertz, 60 frames per second. But now into the 144 hertz and things like that, there's not really video that's 144 seconds, 144 frames per second. And there's not really... I mean, there's games that can go way 144 frames per second and more, but they can vary. So you might max it out, or you might not, depending on how fast the other hardware is and the type of game and the settings and everything like that. So now at 144 hertz, that's now, I mean, that's a super high frame rate. So that's what the laptop panel is. The tip is to go in and select your external monitor and make sure that its refresh rate is at the highest that it can be, because I was noticing on the 4K monitor it wasn't as smooth, and there's no reason for it to not. I didn't have the cursor, but now you can see there's no reason for it to not be smooth. And at 30 hertz, it was a little jittery. Now, I think for two reasons, because it's now at double the speed, and at these lower frame rates, you can tell the difference between 30 frames and 24 frames, and you can definitely tell the difference between 60 and 30 frames, and you can still tell the difference definitely on between 60 and 144 frames. But as it goes from 144 to 240, I'm sure there's still a difference depending on definitely the use. And from 240 to now 300, there may be a little bit of the bump, but you have to go a lot more hertz before you see the difference. But definitely from 30 to 60, that's a 50% change. So you're going to see that. And I think also, since it's not at the maximum hertz, and the other monitor I have is already set at 60 hertz. So it's having to calculate 3 different speeds. And I think it goes a little faster having to only calculate 2 speeds and having it be at maybe the native refresh rate of the monitor and the maximum possible frame rate. So I'm not an engineer, but just thinking about it backwards. So the way you set it up is you click that, and this is going to open behind it. If it looks like it didn't load, it probably did. It probably did just behind the video, and I know this because I clicked this probably 20 times, and then it finally one showed up above it, and then once I closed this, there was 20 windows open underneath. So you open this up, and you go to monitor, and you make sure, and it'll have the max based on what the monitor can actually do. So set it at the max, and I mean, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, I definitely do. So that's why I made the video about it, because it was at 30 hertz and it's definitely running a lot smoother. So all 3 monitors run very smooth. And this is off this 2020 Acer Predator Helios 300. I have an Amazon affiliate link below if you like to support the channel. Maybe you're looking for some more nuance. I have a fuller review video coming up, but I just haven't edited it yet, or haven't finished editing. You see there's all these cuts. I'm cutting out all this stuff, but it should be nice. But this is just a few tips if you got the laptop already, or even a laptop that just has a discrete graphics card that, you know, maybe you can squeeze some more performance out of. That would be some of the first places to check: the drivers, your graphics settings, and your display settings, to make sure that the apps are using the discrete graphics card, to make sure your monitors are at their optimal performance, and that should just give you a smooth experience no matter what you're doing. So thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. I do have that review coming at some point. We'll see what this channel, what kind of content I end up putting on it. But I've had this channel since, when is it, 2007, and I thought I would do something with it. So let's see, how long have I had this channel? Dun, dun, dun. And the TimeBolt logo up at the top is just because I use the software and I haven't paid for it. So go buy their software, and you can see what kind of videos that I've been watching. So I've been into the tech videos. It started really in doing the search for this laptop. I've watched a whole bunch, and I've continued to watch these tech videos, and it kind of leads you down a rabbit hole as things do on YouTube. And then we have obviously the Donald Trump ad. It's like 50-50. You're either gonna see a Joe Biden ad or a Donald Trump ad, depending on when you turn it on. And then you have definitely the Ricky Gervais show. Listen to that, hilarious. And you see other people doing reviews for this laptop. So there's plenty of reviews for this laptop. I mean, any of the big tech channels have done it or looked at it, or channels with similar specs. But this channel, so here we are. We'll do this as kind of a marking moment. This channel joined February 18th, 2007 with 143 views. So let's try to up those numbers. Let's try to get this channel up there. And if you enjoyed the video, there'll be videos coming out every sometimes about just various things. So right now it's this laptop. I've kind of gotten inundated with laptop tech. If you want me to talk about laptop tech and some of the stuff I've learned, I'll update you. But I hope you went away with a great tip, and click away anytime. Subscribe to the channel. Just here hanging out with you. And let me know if these worked. Maybe they worked on a different laptop, because it's kind of a universal thing. And also, if you want to leave in the comment if you've updated to Windows 2004, because I haven't yet. I almost did, but then I'm like, I don't want to be the guinea pig. Like, I don't want to. Like I do, and I've heard some of these things where they're like, oh, now it's doing the, what is it? Windows. GPU scheduling, right? So there's a whole bunch of thoughts about this GPU scheduling. I don't know what to make of it, but that's one of the big things of 2004, that update. And if you've done it, and maybe if you've done it and you put it on a laptop, the Acer Predator Helios, what has been your experience? Have you encountered any bugs? Is it advised to just wait it out, or is it advised to do it as soon as possible? I've definitely done plenty of updates as soon as possible. I don't think I've regretted a Windows one, but that's not scientific. There may have been, I don't know, but I'm kind of just letting it flesh its way out. That's the same actually with Flight Simulator 2020. I've seen, let's see, how is it doing on Steam right now? So right now, Flight Simulator 2020, right? And on Steam, so people, where is that? Mostly positive. It good. There we go. There's our in-depth review and in-depth analysis of the game. Thank you very much. Electron 1K with a 0. Electr 0N 1K. It good. So you heard it here first on the Rick Troutner channel. that Flight Simulator 2020 it good. But I mean, definitely it's incredible. It's the whole new craze. I mean, when I saw that that's what they were doing, it made sense. I mean, Google Earth could so get into the Flight Simulator game. Like, you know what? You want to see the if you don't want to get Flight Simulator 2020, if you're not ready for all of that, then I want to show you the poor man's Flight Simulator. Launch Earth. No, where's the Earth versions? Earth versions. What Earth version are we on? Is this Earth version 1? Is this what Earth? What fucking Earth are we on? Get it on Google Play. Installed. No. Where's like the legacy software? Earth versions. Download Earth Pro on desktop. Accept and download. Dun dun dun. Keep. I love how they flag their own software. It's like legacy software. Oh shit. Everybody's playing Flight Simulator 2020. You know what I say to that? That Google really could. If they just put some of their billions of dollars, who has more cash on hand? Microsoft or Google? Cash on hand, Google. 117 billion cash on hand. Microsoft cash on hand. Oh, 136 billion. Damn. Microsoft has more cash on hand. Oh, but Alphabet has 128. So they got the cash. They should just, how much? Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 production budget. Video game, how much did it cost? This is a great article. I would suggest go reading this article, because this explains pretty much everything I wanted to talk about with Flight Simulator. Where, yeah, there's 3 versions. It starts at 60 and it goes up, but you can get it for the Game Pass. And I'm not sponsored by any of these people, so fuck these people. I'm just going through it. But we're not here to talk about the paid Flight Simulator. We're here to talk about the free Flight Simulator. What's up? What is up? Alright, so if we go New York. What's up, New York? Everybody's talking about, if you fly over New York in Flight Simulator, your computer can't handle it. Well, I'll show you a computer that can handle it. Boom, boom. Get rid of all these freaking words. You want to know what Flight Simulator? Why doesn't it show the frame content? It doesn't even consider this a game. Nvidia doesn't even consider this a game. So tool. So let's view. No sidebar, no toolbar. We don't need any of that. So we're gonna plop on down. We're gonna plop on down over here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the flight. Welcome to the OG Flight Simulator. Here we go. Google Earth Flight Simulator. Here we go, baby. Here we go. And you're not getting any kind of, 747, 737, A320. None of that nonsense. F-16, baby. What's up? F-16. Pop those flaps. Those flaps come out instantly. There's no... And then we're out of here. Let's go. Oh, look at that frame rate dropping. What's up? Put that gear up. Put them flaps up. Let's go. We're in the real Flight Simulator now. Here we go. Look at that. Look at them 3D fucking buildings. 3D buildings. What's up? What's up, baby? What's up? Look at this. Look at these. Look, all these buildings. 3D. What's up, baby? And then hold up. Boom. You know what? view. Oh, it won't show me the toolbar. I can't change the weather. Oh no, I could add the weather at least. No, there's no weather in this game. See, that's what I'm saying. We just want the clouds. We don't want the information. Just give me the clouds. What clouds are there? So if Google put some time in to, you know, add in weather, add in lighting effects, they could have a real contender. I mean, they have the data. Look at this. Look at this. Now this is a flight simulator right here. Forget that $1 in, $5 a month. None of that. You know what? We need to land, don't we? Isn't that LaGuardia right there? Yup. Alright. Whoa, whoa. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, you saw that? Man. You don't even need to worry about G-forces. You ready for this landing? This shit is gonna blow your mind. Here we go. Bum 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Which way are we? Yeah, we're pointing the right way. Oh, where are we going? Oh, snap. It's like the roller coaster is going down. Alright, 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 alright. Slow her down, slow her down, slow her down. Slow her down. You know what we'll do? You know what we'll do? We'll go to Newark. Bum ba dum ba da ba da bum. Dun da dun da 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 da. Let's go. So, if you don't have the $60 or the $1 or the $5 to get Flight Simulator or the computer hardware, and you want the 3D buildings, because let's face it, you're not a real fucking pilot. You don't know what you're doing. You're not. It's gonna be like any other game, you know. It's for the thrill. There's a few people that are, but that's not you. You're not watching this video. If you're a real pilot, get out of here. You're piloting. Why would you be watching this video? Where is freaking Newark? Where is Newark? Newark. Newark. Where is it? God damn it. My head is tilted. Alright. I don't know where Newark is. You know what we need to do? Rev up the engines, everybody. Here we go. Yeah, there's no moving cars in this flight sim, so if they just added those things in, man. Where is Newark? Where is it? Why don't I see Newark? Where is Newark? Where is that Newark? Newark! Newark, Newark, Newark. Newark, 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 Newark. We're coming, baby. We're coming. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. There's no brakes. At least I haven't found the button for them, so. But it's okay. I'm a professional. Everybody hold on. Don't get your panties in a bunch. It's going down. Here we go. Don't get your panties in a bunch, everyone. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's okay. It's alright. It's okay. It's alright, everyone. It's alright. It's alright, everyone. It's alright. It's alright, everyone. You still got a little bit of runway left. We still got a little bit left, everyone. Hold on to your panties. God bless America, everyone. God bless America, and good night.